Big questions, though, regarding impacts to Hawaii. So we want to get to that here at the top of the hour. We want to bring in again Fox Weather hurricane specialist Bryan Norcross looking over some of the data. And Bryan, your 8 a.m. Eastern surprise, perhaps not a surprise any longer as we now have a TD.
Yeah, it looked kind of like a TD at 8 a.m. It doesn't surprise me because we could see some circulation there. And now the saying is that the circulation is well defined enough, and this band of thunderstorms are on this side here is well defined enough that it's part of the circulation, and that is the definition of a tropical depression. So this 2C means it's in the central Pacific. That's all that means. It is a standard old tropical depression with 35-mile-an-hour winds, west-northwest at 16, and that's a pretty good clip. And 1006 is the pressure. Let's look at it a little closer up here. And you can see where the National Hurricane Center locates the center as of 8 o'clock Eastern time, 2 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. The model, notice, puts it back here a little bit. So the model is a little bit slow on it. And now that it's developing, things should line up better because everything was kind of making guesses before that. But in any case, it does show, the main thing is the model shows a solid circulation here. And we saw that earlier. That's why I was saying that I think this is likely to be a depression here pretty soon. Or if they find winds of 40 miles an hour, it'll be Tropical Storm Mocha is the name that is next on the Central Pacific list because it's in the Hawaii zone now, so it uses Hawaii names. Okay, so here's the cone from the Hurricane Center. The idea is it strengthens and it strengthens and it strengthens, maybe up to 65 or 70 miles per hour when it's in the kind of closest to the Big Island, in the vicinity of the Big Island. Could it be a hurricane? Yes, it could. Again, any kind of forecast for just developing storms are always subject to some change, and there are some possibilities of hurricane forecasts in that vicinity, but not a super strong storm. We're not looking at, again, a category 3 or 4 storm or something like that. The upper level conditions are just fairly hostile here. And then slow weakening as it passes the Hawaiian Islands into Monday and Tuesday because the upper level winds and the dry air is in the area. All right, so the dark areas here are drier air. The kind of orange up here are the super dry air, but this is drier, and you can make out that it's kind of wrapping around and into the system now. So that's why the back of the system looks kind of ragged, and it's going to stay that way. It's going to fight with this dry air on its whole trip in this direction. So that's why we're not expecting any significant intensification. Right now, the upper level winds are relatively conducive to development. The dry air is really holding its back. The water temperature is okay for development. So really is the dry air that's doing the job right now. All right, we can look at the model, and this is the dry air you saw wrapping around. It gets a little more moist over here, but the dark moisture is where the core of the tropical moisture is, and you see the back end of this is kind of lighter green, indicating there's more dry air in there, and it's heading ahead into dry air. Okay, here's the big island of Hawaii here. Here is the time up here. Here we are Thursday morning, Hawaii time, early Thursday morning. So let's go forward in time and watch it come close. And what you're seeing is it's pushing against dry air, and some more dry air is coming up into the core here. All that is kind of holding it back. But there is this kind of comma tail here of strong tropical moisture, which is similar to what we saw with Lala, that this doesn't look like it's going to be that strong, but this is a pretty strong push of tropical air directly up out of the south behind this circulation. All right, let's go on to Sunday. So Sunday morning, the time nominally we're showing you here is very early in the morning Sunday time, so maybe late Saturday that this comes in here, and notice up into Maui and a good part of Hawaii. Now, where exactly the bands are, as we just saw with Lala, it's the bands that make a lot of difference. In Lala, there was stuff with the core, and then that next band was the one that just creamed the southern part of the Big Island there and caused over 3 feet of rain. This one is moving along. Rain amount's not that much, but they say up to 15 inches. in some spots here, and then lesser amounts up this way in this part of the track. And then we move on, and still some lingering rain, looks like, into Monday before it moves on away. Now, that's just one model depiction. You see, there's a large variety here. Some of them extend it down to the south, where much less would affect there, and some extend it north, where stronger winds would affect. So we're not just saying that one view. That is to give you an idea of the timing and the moisture coming along. When we look at the specific models, watch them moving out there, see they move along, but again, kind of a wide dispersion. All are credible paths for this. The light blue ones are the Google AI ones, and you see it's gone by Monday. Okay, here is the consensus of the typical models that we've looked at for many years, the Euro and the GFS and so forth and so on. And now look at the Google model. It's also down here, a good ways south. Now, that doesn't mean that Hawaii isn't going to get some effect from this, but if we can get it a good ways south like this, that'll hold that most intense band of moisture south of the island, but still more moisture coming to the very vulnerable island of the big island. And you see now the Google possibilities are kind of all over the place. New Google model just coming in, so we'll be updating that through the day. Okay, here are the intensity models. How strong is it going to be? You see there are some up at hurricane strength, generally Category 1 hurricane strength. Some keep it as a tropical storm as it moves through on Saturday and Sunday. So that's what we're going to count on. All right, one more thing to look at out there. There's a lot in the Pacific. There is Lala up there. And over here we have two systems, both of them expected to stay offshore, although this 80% one is forecast to kind of come this way as it's dying out. So we may talk about that having some small effect on Hawaii down the road. But Hawaii seems to be the crossroads here at this moment, unfortunately, this hurricane season. Guys?
So that's what we get when it's a strong El Nino, and we have that marine heat wave that's keeping the Pacific quite warm. Right. All right, Bryan, Norcross for us with the 11 o'clock advisory in. Appreciate it. Thank you.